Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. How y'all doing? What's going on, my people? How y'all doing? Kiki, how you doing? As always, one of the first ones up in here, if not the first, as always. How you doing this good Saturday? It's July 4th, and we are here. You know, the white folks celebrating America. We just putting food on the barbecue grill. I appreciate y'all being here. I had to push the time up because got to go chill with my pops. He just lost two of his best friends in the last 3 weeks have passed away. So he ain't really doing good right now. So got to make sure I go chill with my pops today. So I had to push the time up. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me and being here because we got a good show. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about today. 3 stories that we are examining. And as always, you know, we try to ask as many questions as possible, look at it from as many angles as possible, and see what sense we can make of this. All right. So before we get deep into this, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment, subscribe, share, hit that hype button. I feel like they give us a whole list of stuff to tell y'all to do. Y'all be like, man, I ain't doing all that. But if you can do anything, at least hit that like button and that hype button. That will really help the channel out, go further into the algorithm, and, you know, get down and doing what we do. But I appreciate everybody for being here. And we're about to go ahead and get deep into this thing because, like I said, 3 stories that I've been seeing that been in the headlines. First, we're dealing with the Kohen Wiley story. Kohen Wiley is the young 1-year-old young man who lost his life because of a situation that we're all gonna figure it out together. We're all going to figure this situation out together with Kohen Wiley because the reports are allegedly the mother and her friend were stealing diapers and the police were called, and them fleeing from the Walmart in Senatobia, Mississippi is where they're located. So them fleeing from that Walmart in Senatobia led to the police drawing this weapon, using this weapon, and the young baby being struck and losing his life. And so it's a lot of stuff around that. What's going on, Renee? How you doing? It's a lot of details around that we need to put together. And of course, you know, I need y'all help putting it together. So that'd be the fun part, all of us putting our minds together and putting the details together. So that's our first story, is the death of Kohen Wiley. The second story is one of the things that I did a short about earlier in the week. Right-wing political commentator Matt Walsh decide that he want to open his mouth about Emmett Till, and he's claiming that Emmett Till is guilty of what Carolyn Dunham accused him of. Now, where he getting this information from, I don't know. Is he just running his fat mouth? Probably. But it still goes into the theme of this week about the power of ideologies, the power of ideas, especially on a particular targeted group of people. Like specific group are being targeted with these messages. And these are also dog whistles as well. So we're going to put our minds together and examine this because this is about Matt Walsh, Emmett Till, and how Matt Walsh is trying to use this platform to rewrite history. And this goes to a lot of the black folk who for like the past 10, 15 years have been saying that these new younger white people will be less racist because of this, because of that, but none of that was grounded in facts or reality. And then our last story is the ending of the temporary protective status for the Haitians and the Syrians. But of course, you know, we're going to more so focus on the Haitians. Now, this is the hot topic. You see the thumbnail, right? It's the, let me say this. Joseph Ward, I don't have no beef with no Haitians. I ain't never had beef with Haitians. I don't have no reason to have beef with Haitians. Now, at the same time, we don't take disrespect from nobody. Now, the young lady that's on the thumbnail, she can go to hell. Her. But I'm not going to take how I feel about her out on the rest of the Haitians. Why? Because I'm grown. And we grown. But I know a lot of people like that. Now, we are going to discuss some of the tension between blacks and Haitians, but ultimately, we're examining the ending of this temporary the temporary protection status. Because I'm not gonna lie, the first time that I heard that, it made me think about, I believe it was back in 88, 89, 87, 88, 89, one of those years. I know I was a young kid, but when a lot of Haitians floated over on that raft and they got turned away. And, you know, we're all going to explore the relations between Black Americans and Haitians. We're all going to explore that, but we're going to explore it from an adult standpoint. Because the thing over here is to not throw gas on the fire, but to extinguish the fire, because we grown. And we don't let our emotions dictate how we handle situations. But of course, you know, we're going to handle that when we get to it toward the end of the show. So one more time, thank you to everybody who's here. I appreciate y'all being here. And let everybody know we here. I know we had to move the time up to 12, but let everybody know we here. And please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, and let's get into this thing. So, like I said, the first story is Kohen Wiley. So let me share my screen and we get a little information on this. All right, let's go.
First at 5 on your news leader, emotions continue to run high in Senatobia, where members of the community are still waiting for answers more than 2 weeks following the death of 1-year-old Kohen Wiley during an officer-involved shooting. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Hurst.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Skurlock. The legal team representing the family of baby Kohen had an independent autopsy performed, hoping to determine if the officer who fired that fatal shot was in danger of being struck by a vehicle when he fired his gun. A news conference was held today to release those findings. WREG's Mike Soriani is live tonight with details of that report. Mike?
And good afternoon, Stephanie and Greg. Yes, Attorney Ben Crump and Memphis Attorney Van Turner once again in Senatobia and again demanding transparency and accountability in this case and bringing with them details of an independent autopsy on 1-year-old Kohen Wiley. Now, word of warning, some images in this story are graphic.
Justice for baby Kohen! Justice for baby Kohen! Justice for baby Kohen! Justice for baby Kohen!
What has become the rallying cry following the death of baby Kohen Wiley filled the West Gilmore Church of Christ Wednesday. Attorney Ben Crump again putting Senatobia and the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation on notice to prove the officer-involved shooting was justified.
They want us to believe that it was a life or death situation because that's the only way you can justify shooting into a vehicle that you know there's a baby in that car.
Since the June 14th incident, there has been a loud cry for the release of police video and security video from Walmart that would show the position of the car Kohen Wiley was in when he was shot.
If you saw the video, why can't you show us the video? Unless that video contradicts what you're trying to tell us, and that it was not a life or death situation.
Crump had announced his firm would have an independent autopsy performed to determine the angle at which Kohen Wiley was shot. At Wednesday's press conference, Crump introduced the findings of that autopsy conducted by board-certified forensic pathologist Dr. Roger Mitchell Jr.
We're trying to put together the puzzle so we can get to the truth and transparency of what happened.
By using diagrams and pictures of the car the baby was in with a shattered passenger side window, Crump laid out findings on the trajectory of the shot that hit the baby.
Dr. Mitchell said the shot was from a side, right side, and it went through his body and it exited the left side, not a front or back. So that meant when baby Kohen was shot, this police is shooting from the side. You can't get that shot from the front. And so why would you shoot into a vehicle from the side where you are clearly not in harm's way?
And back out live coming up at 6. We'll have more on this independent autopsy on baby Cohen Wiley, and you'll hear public reaction. Reporting live for your news leader in Senatobia, Mike Suriani, WREG News Channel 3.
All right, so that's the news story about Cohen Wiley. I got a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions about this. And like I was saying, I have that press conference. We're going to watch a good deal of that press conference. It's like an hour-long press conference, so we're probably not going to watch the whole thing, but we're going to get into the press conference. But it's a lot that goes into this. So Cohen Wiley was a 1-year-old child who we know was taken out on June 14th, 2026 in Senatobia, Mississippi, after police responded to a Walmart-related call alleged shoplifting involved diapers. So, as I stated earlier, the mother and the woman who was driving the car are accused of stealing diapers out of Walmart. And as of right now, I haven't found any information to prove that the mother and the friend were not stealing diapers. So that's one thing. Maybe there's information, maybe you all may have some, maybe, and if so, please share. But as of right now, I don't have any information to say that the mother wasn't stealing diapers, but that's one thing. So stealing diapers, allegedly, and let's just say allegedly, because I can't prove that they did steal the diapers either. So allegedly stole the diapers. So let's say if they did, the baby was with them. They had a baby with them. Check those 2 points, all right? So according to AP, to the Associated Press in Mississippi today, officers fired into the vehicle where Cohen was located, and his family was challenging the police narrative that the car was coming toward the officers. The family's attorney, Ben Crump, says an independent autopsy shows that Cohen was pum from the right side of the vehicle. And we was wondering where Ben Crump was. Here he is. Ben Crump has showed up, right? And so they did do an independent autopsy, and that's what is going to be shown. That's what they're going to be talking about in the press conference that we're going to look at. And from their findings, they're saying that the trajectory of the bullet and the position of the officer says that he was not in direct danger of being hit by the car. Now, I am not a legal expert. I'm not an officer. I'm not a gun expert, none of these things. But I will say, I've watched enough police cam videos to know that police officers don't automatically pull their guns out and go to blasting just because somebody's driving either toward them or away from them. I do know that. I do know it happens. On the other hand, I do know it happens, but I do know that I've seen enough, whether it was black women, but especially white people, where they don't have to fire into the car, or they don't automatically fire into the car until later into the pursuit. So it says petty larceny in most jurisdictions, if the value of the stolen diapers is below a specific threat. Right. Not disagreeing with that. So let's put our minds together and let's put this puzzle together, right? So, like I was saying, the independent autopsy shows that the baby was pum from the right side of the vehicle, with the bullet entering the right side and exiting the left. Crump argues this contradicts the claim that the officer fired at an oncoming vehicle. Body cam and dash cam and Walmart surveillance footage has not been released. We know it's going to take time for that stuff to be released, but it hasn't been released yet. So questions that a lot of people have, questions many people have is, more questions is, why were the police firing to the vehicle over an alleged shoplifting? Now, the officer is saying that he felt his life was in danger. I don't know about this one. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. But also, I think we need to understand that I have video that we're about to look at of the mother and the father of Cohen Wiley, and they are children. They like they young. They young. They not adults. So there is blame on each side. That's what I'm getting at. There is blame on each side, because even we're going to see the mother says that when they saw the officers draw their guns, she said she held the baby up to show the baby that there was a baby in the car. And that ain't the best thing to do. That was my first thought. Like, why did you do that? But then after, going through videos and looking at it, I'm like, oh, I understand why she did that. She don't know no better. God is Yemen, y'all. How you doing this Saturday? How you doing? So this is the first video we're about to look at, is the mother of Kohen Wiley giving her perspective. And right, he definitely lying. He definitely lying, because if we looking at everything, oncoming would have mean that you would have hit the windshield. It would have been hitting the windshield. G Money, man, what up? Hey, G Money, I really appreciate you from the last show. I appreciate you. I saw it after the show. G Money, let me go ahead and I got to run my music for you, G Money. I appreciate you.
Look at all this money, homie. I got all this money, homie.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Definitely lying, because the trajectory of that bullet should have went through that windshield. Nothing's wrong with the windshield. G Money, so talk back to me. Let me know what it be on this Saturday. The police had no business shooting when they knew up front there was a child in the car, but really not firing over. Right. Now, I do wish that the baby was not held up out that window. I do wish that. And I get what she's saying. She lifted the baby up so they would see and not fire in the car. But that's with them being young and inexperienced. They don't understand. Those people don't care about our kids either. Those people don't care about our kids either. So that's why, in my opinion, that's why him seeing the baby didn't stop him from blasting into the car. Bush woman, how you doing? Happy Saturday. So let's look at the video. Let's check this out. The first video is Kohen Wiley's mother, and the second video is Kohen Wiley's father. And then you guys are going to get to see what I'm talking about their level of maturity as parents. They're young. They not kids, but they young.
Marcus Keith.
Valicia Wiley lost her son to the negligence of law enforcement in Senatobia, Mississippi. Can you please tell what happened?
It was me, my son, and another friend of mine was at Walmart. As we was leaving out the Walmart, they tried to stop her, but I kept walking because it had nothing to do with me. By the time me and my baby got in the car.
So basically the way she's explaining is she was with somebody who was stealing. Her friend is stealing. This is what she's saying. Her friend was stealing and she was with them. They were leaving out of the Walmart, and Walmart staff or whoever was in charge, the authorities, were stopping her friend because she's saying her friend was the alleged diaper thief. As the friend is being stopped, she continues to go to the car.
She came, and then when we was backing up, they was running out the come. I raised my baby up because they withdrawed their gun. She had no tent. I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. So she was backing up and she hit a car as I was opening the door, so the door flew back in. By the time I sat my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots. One of the shots hit him in his rib cage, and the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh. And we left and went to Senatobia.
Now, that's excessive for diaper theft. That's excessive for diaper theft. What are we doing? But once again, they don't see us as human either, though. We got to remember that. They don't see us as human. Their job is to enforce white supremacy and to keep us in line. They don't see us as human. And so, once again, I get why the young lady held the baby up, because she is trying to show, hey, we got life in here that need to be protected. But once again, they don't give a damn about our babies either. But I'm not gonna jump down on her for holding. I wish she didn't hold the baby up, but I'm not gonna jump down on her for doing it because she didn't know no better. We got to wake up, Renee. We got to wake up. Like she said, she just said the officers rammed the car, and then by the time she put the baby down, they started blasting.
Hospital where he was pronounced dead at the scene. And they told me I wasn't gonna be able to see him until he get back from Jackson. She got airlifted, and the police told me I couldn't leave out the hospital until somewhere I couldn't leave out, couldn't nobody come in. But I ended up walking out, and the crowd was questioning them, asking them what happened. They was like, she was shoplifting. But the passenger, it was me. They wasn't talking about me, they was talking about the driver. But on the little, what's it called, self-checkout, they can see, it's cameras, they can see when she got the diapers and walked out. But yeah, they tried to say that she forcefully was trying to drive and hit them, but they was all on the right side, and she was driving towards the left. They just personally just shot in the car.
Did they try to charge you with anything?
No, they didn't charge me. They ain't charged me with nothing. They just.
So what was the purpose of the so-called pursuit? What was the purpose of ramming the car? What was the purpose of pulling out the gun? What was the purpose of using the firearms? Of course, you know I got to use my YouTube words, but what was the purpose of doing all that? And they still didn't get charged. And now she's lost her baby. Now, of course, she's getting backlash online about flashing the money at the baby's funeral. We're gonna get to that, but she's young. Wait till we get to the father. She's young. She don't know no better. Of course, we would want her right all over Pampers. Now that young man has lost his life over Pampers.
Let me go. And they didn't say nothing. They just kept telling the crowd that they were shoplifting. But I don't know if they found anything because there's nothing to find.
So remember, we lose Cyrus over them suspecting he was shoplifting, and we lose Kohen Wiley because they say the friend of the mother, and the mother is confirming that the friend is the one who was being accused of the shoplifting over Pampers, and she was riding with the friend, and they were trying to get away. So what's up with the friend? Where's the friend? Where's the friend? Because the friend need her ass whooped. If everything is true about the friend need her ass whooped because the friend put her and her baby in a bad situation. Because the story is framed as if she was, I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, the mother of Kohen Wiley. The story is framed as if she was in on the shoplifting as well. Now she's saying that she wasn't in on the shoplifting. But the friend need her ass whooped. If all of that is true, the friend need her ass whooped because she put her and her baby in a bad situation. And you try to ride off and you try to drive, you try to get in the car and drive off, knowing that a baby is with you. Now, I'm from the hood too, and I've seen enough police cam videos to know that some of these young ladies are foolish enough to go and steal with their children. Now, in this situation, the mother of Kohen Wiley, we can't put that on her because there's no evidence that she was stealing. So the best friend or whoever the friend is, she need a Shaq-sized foot in her ass if all of that is true. That's wild. And so where's the friend in all of this? Well, I think the friend got pew-pewed by the police. But did she get charged? Did the friend get charged?
Okay.
How does it feel to know that you had so many people to show up from places? I mean, we don't even know you guys, but
this is the father.
A lot of people wanted to be here to show support How did that make you feel seeing all the different faces?
I feel like I ain't want my son to be known in that type of way. You feel me? Like, but I appreciate it. But I know like, so only reason most folks popping around there cause it trend, So how it's popular right now. I already know how it go. They on my boat right now. I already know how they go.
And you saying now you didn't want your
Young people, they are young, underdeveloped as far as the mental faculty people. And they out here parenting. Now, in this particular situation, we can't blame either one of them. Because from everything that's looking like the friend did some dumb stuff and she didn't know. But they are young people. They are young people out here. But I do like what he was saying. I wanted my son to have a name, but not for something like this. I do like him. I do like that he says that. And me and Pat were just talking on the phone, and we were just talking about, fatherhood. And one thing, like you will see the young man's appearance, you'll hear the young man talking, you'll see the environment the young man growing up in. You might even see his friends, people around him. But I guarantee you that young man loved his son. I guarantee you the mother loved the son. And young fathers like that don't get enough credit for the things that they do. They may not do everything right, but they do enough. You know what I'm saying? So G Money say they would rather pay a few $1 million out than have a black life walking around trying to just live life. It's sad how they are taught to view black life as a threat to their existence. Exactly. Going back to what you made me think about what Dr. Francis Chris Weston say. They have a fear of genetic annihilation. But there was another black male that was taken out. Another black male who had the potential to become a black man who was taken out. And those rogue officers just didn't care, went to ram in the car and just blam it. The officers need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and that best friend need that. They need to rain down hell on her forehead. Renee, yeah, they are supposed to be the adults in the room, but we know these police officers, they are horrible at de-escalating situations. These police officers, especially those like that one, they are horrible at de-escalating situations. They don't come into the situation to de-escalate. They come into the situation to make it worse. But let's let the young man continue speaking.
baby to be popular, known like this?
Nah, not this type of.
Can you tell us what kind of baby he was? What is your memories of him?
Like funny, playful, goofy like your mom, goofy, real goofy.
Oh, you good, Terrell?
When you found out the baby was coming, how did that make you feel? Were you nervous?
When you first were born?
Yes.
I know, man. Nah, I read it for.
You were ready to be a.
You hear him. He was ready to be a father. He was ready to be a father. That's what I'm talking about. He get the hand claps. He get the hand claps. He was ready to be a father. So Terrell, basically, 1-year-old baby Kohen Wiley, he and his mother were with their friend, going to Walmart. The friend is accused of stealing diapers. As they were leaving Walmart, the mother and the friend leaving out. The friend gets approached. The mother continues to go to the car. The friend, it seems like, is escaping, being approached for the alleged stealing of the diapers. They all get to the car to drive away. A police officer comes up to try to stop them. The police officer rams the car. Before the police officer rams the car, the mother holds the baby up to show that the baby's in the car. The police officers ram the car. Then they pull a gun out and start pew-pewing. And the baby ends up being taken out. And the friend who was driving the car, who was accused of stealing, is also hit by a bullet. And that ended up with a lawsuit, I believe. So the parents got a lawsuit for that. So let me show y'all this real quick. Because this is the picture. Hold on. Here we go. So this is the picture from the funeral, from Kohen Wiley's funeral, that is going viral because the mother is, flashing all the money. And so the internet is saying that she was in this for the money because they don't like that she was flashing the money. That girl don't know no better. That girl don't know no better. We expecting her to know better and present herself better. She not. It's not happening. Let that go. I'm not even blaming her. I'm not even criticizing because she don't know no better. Said black men have always been great fathers. We represent true fatherhood better than any other race. That's BS and a false narrative about black men are deadbeats. We are the epitome of what. There you go, G Money. Says Renee says, especially these days, which is what our people need to realize and stay away from. Hey man, gotta stay away from them folks. Carnegie, how you doing? Let the man continue.
Yeah.
Was he your only baby?
Nah, he got a sister.
He got a sister.
Yo, I'm gonna show you.
You got pictures.
Look at him.
Yeah.
He's excited. He's excited to show his kids.
Show you
That's what I'm talking about, young man.
Oh, I will show a picture on the gutter, but
So I do get you. Trust me, y'all. Trust me, I get you. And so I sat and I thought about that. That's what's good, Carnegie. I sat and I thought about that for a while, y'all. And that's why I had to go find some videos and kind of listen to them talk and try to understand the mother a bit. Because when I first saw her, I was like, why was she flexing like that with that money? She do look way too happy. She don't know no better. She don't know no better. I don't think she really truly understand what happened. Like, I don't think she really get that he ain't coming back ever again. I don't think it really registering to her in her young mind right now. And then to get a cash payout, I ain't gonna say cash payout, but to get money from it, oh man, that just took it to a whole new level. A whole new level. And trust me, I get you. I don't think she has the understanding to have the type of compassion that she's supposed to have or that we would normally have. I just don't think she had the capacity for it. I don't believe she was in it for the money. Yeah, Bush woman says she don't believe she was in it for the money. I don't think she was in it for the money, but I will say the money did make her feel real good, though. I will say that. If I'm being honest, I would say I do believe the money made her feel real good. Battle Again just says, Sal Walmart receipt search 101. You do not have to comply when they ask you for a receipt. It is voluntary compliance, non-legally enforceable. They can only hinder you until the cops come. Yep. And then when the cops come, they made it better. And I don't think she realized the totality of what happened to her son and their family.
Oh man!
Oh wow! How old is she?
Both on one. Hey, her birthday October 17th. His birthday November 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, two 1-year-olds.
And he was your only son.
Yeah, man.
How does it feel, man? Just knowing that they went to the store for one thing and left another way.
I mean, like honestly, all I can say, I don't really know what happened. I was asleep. I got woke up to it. I didn't know, like, they took my baby. I just want justice for him. It's all. I don't want nothing but justice for my baby. That's it. Yeah, like right now, like around people, I'm good. But like by myself, like whole different ball game. It's different. Yeah, you know.
Have you been to see a counselor or talk to like a pastor or somebody you could just vent to?
No, man.
Have you considered it?
I consider myself like I deal with it. I'm dealing with it. Yeah, it like I just want justice. That's it.
So that's the mother and the father speaking about the death. I mean, you know, like I say, it's a lot into that. But shout out to the young man and for, you know, being being a loving father as much as he can be for his capacity. So shout out to him, man. He's doing his thing, and he's proud to be a father. They understand human psychology 101. She's going through the coping stages of processing the trauma. Give her another 4 months to a year, and she's going to crack. And that's what I was thinking about against. That's what I was thinking. I was even thinking like maybe a year or two down the line, like she gets some better understanding. She just somewhere by herself, and it just kind of hit her like, oh my baby, and she just spiral, you know. Yeah. So yeah. Yes, yes, Terrell. I am applying. Well, I'm not implying. I am saying that they are socially immature. I am saying that. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I've spent enough time in the community studying psychology and all these things to kind of see that, you know, depending on your environment, how you were poured into, you know, how they were raised, all these different things gonna help determine their level of social maturity or even just cognitive maturity. Now, I don't think they're stupid. I don't think they're ignorant or dumb or anything like that, but certain levels of like you're saying, social maturity, cognitive maturity, emotional maturity. I don't think that they're there yet, but I don't think that they're supposed to be there either. I think that they're at the level that they're supposed to be. And I'm not saying that they're below their level. I'm saying they're immature to us. I'm 42. Dude got to be in his late teens. Well, I think so. Good question, Terrell. This is where men like us are needed in the community. Because men like us who have been through the things, got the answers to the question. We need to be in the community showing these young men how to navigate through life. I think black men need to take a more serious role when it comes to mentorship. And now, being someone who has spent a lot of time mentoring, I do understand why a lot of black men don't want to mentor, even give up mentoring, because of the parents. The parents make it so difficult to help the child. But we do need more men in the community being active with these children, but also we need the parents of these children making sure that their children are active with these young men. And I think it's the relationship, it's a breakdown in the relationship between those who are serving the community, those who need to be served, and then those who don't want to be served, because we have a portion of our community who don't want to be served. They are happy where they are, and it's not our job to try to convince them to be anything else. He says, but we must maintain the legal framing and not drift. When we go into the philosophical abstracts and commentary, this is what they use to tank these cases. Yeah. So I do need to pull up an article, because I'm not sure that I'm not sure what the total outcome is, but we can see they have some kind of settlement from that. So I need to look into that. This is just an idea, take it or not, but now black people should boycott Walmart. So Carnegie, black people there are factions of black people who are boycotting Walmart. So I have seen that. I've seen people add Walmart to the list of the things that's being boycotted. So some people are boycotting Walmart. How you doing, Elizabeth? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. Bushwoman said 100%. Besides the being immature, we have no idea what kind of environment they both are in. And like I say, that matters. The environment that they're in matters. But once again, let me be clear. I don't mean that they're immature below their level. I mean they're immature to us, because they're supposed to be, because they're young people. But yes, the environment. Yes. And Elizabeth, you were saying, to be specific, you were saying, how do we do that? And you were specific. You were saying that. What was that specifically you were asking? So I can make sure I answer your question correctly. It says, Bad Again just says, because regardless of philosophy, etc., the rules of law apply first and foremost, regardless for holding the baby up or being in the amygdala response state, actors under control. Yep. Nah, you're right. You're right though. You're right. You're right. The words spoken on this live do not reach our people in the commentary. That mother did not hear info which could change her behavior. I don't know. Senatobia, Mississippi, because I don't want to just assume that she hasn't heard the information or had access to it. She may or may have not. I know whether somebody presents the information or not. If she's not ready to receive, she ain't gonna receive. So I will say that. I will give her the benefit of the doubt, but you have to be ready to receive. So not to say boycotting isn't a blank. Boycotting doesn't work. Can we? Well, I mean, well, Terrell, you know. I would say, well, economically though, we have to be real with ourselves and have to be willing to make the sacrifices. If we want to have our own grocery chains, want to have our own stores and things, we're gonna have to be willing to make sacrifices and not go to theirs, being able to produce our own and be able to sell our own to ourselves. Are we willing to make those sacrifices? Because Elizabeth, that goes to your answer. Your question is, how do we become a we? Being willing to sacrifice. How much are we willing to sacrifice as individuals so we can get that victory as a we? Children outside of marriage, what the F? They are both immature and need to be in college getting an education. Hey, well, we got to help them get there. Trust me, I don't disagree with you, Tara. I don't disagree with you, but we got to help them get there. We got to help them get there. Like, it's rough out here. It's wild out here. It ain't nice out here for a lot of these children, for a lot of these kids. Like, a lot of these young people are literally raising themselves. They're literally raising themselves because their parents literally just had them and just made sure that they didn't die. That's it. But a lot of these young people are raising themselves, and it's rough out here for a lot of them. They don't have the proper adults around them. And trust me, I do agree with you. So that's why I'm always preaching that we take this, what we learning on here, and our inspiration from here, go back into the community and affect the community in whatever way that's best for you. So we have to avoid centering on victims' behaviors versus centering on the state actors and risks and rights of law. Truthfully, the behaviors of clearly covered unprotected expression 1A. So no, I get you. So this is what's going on, Kush. How you doing, my brother? Peace. Happy Saturday. So let's get to this press conference. This is the full press conference. We're not gonna get to the full thing, but this is the press conference. Of course, our favorite lawyer, Ben Crump, is present. Miss NBC, how you doing? What's the name of this one? Full press. All right. Let me share this. Hey, Carnegie, people ain't been listening. All right, so let's get it. Please hit that like button if you have not already.
Justice for baby Cohen. 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 Justice for baby Cohen.
There go our homeboy, Ben Crump.
We welcome all of you here today to be a part of this press conference. We welcome Attorney Ben Crump and Attorney Van Turner, who's representing the family in this case. We thank you for coming out today as a part of this community, and you're always welcome here. Before we begin the official press conference, I'm going to call on Brother James Jackson to come up and lead us in prayer.
Stop calling me. You sound like a psycho, I swear to God.
I'm calling you to let you know that we're going to pay off every loan you have.
Let us pray. Dear God, we come this day with thanks in our hearts. We come, oh Heavenly Father, thanking you again this day for your grace, your mercy, and most of all, we thank you for being our creator. Dear God, we ask you now, if you don't mind, to bless this Kohen family. For God, strengthen them. We beg you now, dear God, for a special divine favor on this family.
Yes, Lord.
For the injustice that they are enduring. For most of God, we know today that injustice is bad. We know this.
Not to be rude, but you know.
Pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much to Minister Kathy for allowing us to be here in his cathedral as we fight for justice. Thank you to Brother Jones for that fervent prayer. We are very grateful. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Van Turner and Kareem Ali. We have the honor of representing the family of baby Kohen. Yes. We also have present with us his grandparents, Carlos and LaShonda.
Gotta have that sermon.
And we know this is going to be an extremely emotional press conference. His parents are still grieving. Obviously, they had the funeral services on Saturday, and this is a lot on any parent, especially young parents. And so keep them in prayer as we continue to fight for justice. We also have Attorney Evan O'Sheehan, who's consulting with us today from Seattle, Washington on our legal team. But as I said before, we're all in this together. We have community activists, community leaders. We're all together. We have Marcus Keith, who's been fighting from day one with the family. We have Patrick Lumumba, who's been fighting with the family in the community. And most importantly, we have you all. You all, we're here together to stand up for baby Kohen. We're here to speak up for baby Kohen. And we're here to fight for baby Kohen. Justice for baby Kohen. Justice for baby Kohen. Justice for baby Kohen. Because today it was Felicia's and Devion's baby, but if we don't stand up to get justice for their baby, then tomorrow it can be your baby. So we fighting for all our babies. And we are here because on June 14th, and it's been over 2 weeks now, right, Attorney Turner? We have been demanding transparency. We have been demanding transparency so we can get to the truth of why a San Antonio police officer felt the need to shoot inside of a moving vehicle that he knew had 2 adults and an infant child that they called a juvenile. They reported they witnessed 2 adults and this child getting into the vehicle, but yet he saw fit to shoot into a moving vehicle when he knew a baby was there.
So I was curious about that money that the mother was flashing. So I just did a Google search, and no formal lawsuit has been filed as of July 2026. But the family of one-year-old Kohen Wiley has retained civil rights attorney Ben Crump and Van Turner, as we see, who are actively preparing litigation and demanding transparency following his fatal shooting by the police. Then I asked, what money was Kohen Wiley's mother? What money did Kohen Wiley's mother have on social media? And it says, that's not lawsuit money. So I was incorrect with that. That's not lawsuit money. There's no trial, anything that has happened. And so it's saying the source of the money is the cash shown in the photos consist of direct donations given to the family to assist with the expenses. Simultaneously, multiple online fundraisers have been set up, including a GoFundMe campaign organized by a family member that raised over $10,000. That's why she was getting a lot of that backlash, but the backlash for flashing the money, because it was donation money, not money from the lawsuit. It was donation money. Gotcha. That makes sense. That make a lot more sense for people to be mad about donation money rather than the lawsuit money. And that's why some people are saying that she's in it for the money. Gotcha. Say, what does justice look like? I understand each individual is different. What justice are they looking for? I have no idea. There you go. Deliver the false promise. Justice for one doesn't assure protect. Man, yeah, look, man. Y'all know Ben Crump gonna get up there and sell you a dream. Y'all know Benjamin's job is to sell you a dream.
And the reason we're fighting for transparency so we can get to the truth is so we can have some accountability.
So now you right, Miss Goddess Yemen, you right. Now we got to wave our finger at our ass. You right. Now we got to, so you flexing donation money that's supposed to be to make sure that y'all get y'all affairs in order and you on there flexing like, but once again, go back to her level of maturity. Her level of maturity. She ain't ready. And these people are parents. But and let's go back and remember. The father has two one-year-olds that were born maybe 3 months apart. That's wild. And so that's why, so that's one of the issues with this case here particularly is a lot of people think, Nee, how you doing? A lot of people think that the mother is in it for the money as well as Ben Crump is in it for the money. And so the optics does look like a big money grab and the baby was the sacrifice. That's what it looks like. I'm not saying that's what it is, but the optics look like that and it is a bad look. Now you on point, Miss Jimmy, y'all. I mean, I keep saying Miss Jimmy, y'all. Goddess Jimmy, y'all. Now you are on point. You are on point. So yes, I got to reel it back, and you were correct from the beginning. You were correct from the beginning. Yes, you were correct from the beginning. Yep. My fault. I was wrong. You was correct from the beginning.
So we can get to justice for baby Kohen and trust for the community. Now follow me. It is really, you see, they want us to believe that it was a life or death situation because that's the only way you can justify shooting into a vehicle that you know there's a baby in that car.
So with him even saying that, oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's why I appreciate you all helping us helping me and all of us figure this out. But even this is getting back to Battle Genja's point, though. This is getting back to what Battle Genja keeps saying. Crump is preaching right now, but Crump is not talking about anything real that's going to help this case in the legal sense. The preaching doesn't help this case in the legal sense. He's preaching to the court of public opinion, but the court of public opinion not going to be in that courtroom with them. So what are the legalities and all the things that's going to help them win this case instead of just trying to get people riled up emotionally?
So they gotta be able to show us, to convince us that it was a life or death situation where the use of deadly force was warranted. And sisters and brothers, they told us that, but they have not showed us that.
Oh, you got the rhyme. You got to have a rhyme.
And so we're here fighting for transparency.
You got to have a rhyme.
We don't need you to narrate it for us. Black people got eyes. We can see just like you all can see. If you saw the video, why can't you show us the video?
But as an attorney, talk to us as an attorney and teach the people what they need to know legally about the case.
Unless that video contradicts
what
you're trying to tell us.
You are
and
right.
That it was not a life or death situation, that it was not warranted that you shoot into a vehicle where you know an infant child is in the vehicle. And so
how do you win the case, Ben?
I can only imagine, Carlos and LaShonda, the lack of peace in your soul. Every night y'all go to sleep not knowing why this officer killed your grandbaby.
Ben is grandstanding right now.
And it is
how did they win the case? What do we need to know about the specifics of the case from a legal standpoint?
We're having this press conference today to announce the results of our preliminary autopsy review. And the reason we're having to go through such great lengths is because we're trying to put together the puzzle so we can get to the truth and transparency of what happened. But you all, we shouldn't have to do this. This family shouldn't have to do this. This community shouldn't have to do this just to get to the simple truth of what happened, because we know that the San Antonio Police Department, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, they have the body cam video, they have the dash cam video, and Walmart has the surveillance video. And so, since this family can't get no peace, we don't want them to get no peace and think that it's gonna be okay for them to sweep baby Kohen death under the rug. We ain't gonna let them sweep baby Kohen death under the rug. We gonna stand up for baby Kohen to get justice. We gonna speak up for baby Kohen to get justice. And we gonna fight for baby Kohen to get justice. Because if it was your baby, you would want us to do the same thing for your baby. I mean, this is a baby.
I don't know about y'all, but that made me feel good. I think I want to go cut the grass. Crunk got me feeling good. Like, he said baby a million times. This is a baby. We know it. We know it. That there was no threshold of violent threat, no application of force continuing. This is an easy win by that alone. So this press conference didn't have to be that long. This press conference didn't have to be that long. The press conference should have been about strategy. This is what happened. This is strategy. This is how we're moving forward. Bam, bam, bam. We in and out. Instead of the grandstanding, this is the baby. We know it's the baby. All the information says it was a 1-year-old. We know that. But once again, they spend more time appealing to our emotions than our actual senses. But all right.
This is a baby. That's right. He can't speak up for himself. He can't stand up for himself. He can't cry for justice for himself. So it's left to us in the community to do that for baby Kohen.
No justice,
no peace.
no justice, no peace. No
Definitely
justice,
sound like the
no
pastor
peace.
Kush, but they're
No justice.
going back to what Elizabeth said earlier about our emotional reaction. We reactionary people.
No justice.
We're too emotional.
No justice, no peace.
And if we don't all stand up for baby Kohen to get justice, then
God is hearing me out. It was just another young mother. I forgot the case. It might have been Trayvon's mother that I did. Yeah, it was Trayvon's mother that I did the video on, and she was going in on being crump. You are right. She could be, and yes, being young parents not knowing no better. Good old being crump come through. I'm gonna win this lawsuit for y'all, and I'm gonna help y'all through this. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to go out here and get justice and peace. You say at this point, sell us the necessary information, and I'm just Kush, my brother. This press conference did not have to be that long, grandstanding. Look here, Miss Wiley, I'm gonna do a press conference for y'all. And I'm gonna take 45 minutes up here preaching about stuff that ain't relevant to the case just to make y'all feel good. Come on, Crump.
the lack of transparency will lead to not just blood on the hands of the San Antonio Police Department or the Mississippi
only in the
Bureau
court of
of
public opinion
Investigations or Walmart. Then the blood is on all our hands. So that's why we all got to stand up. That's why I'm so grateful to, Brother Bridges, Markel Bridges, and Patrick Lumumba, and Marcus Keith, and all these community activists, because they refuse to let them get away without having transparency. I mean, Walmart can release that video. That's right. San Antonio Police Department can release that video, but they choose not to. And why? What are they trying to hide from us?
So what legal strategies or political strategies or pressure would need to be put on Walmart, police department, and the city to get those videos released? Like in real life, not like, just trying to make somebody feel bad, but what real strategies or tactics or things that they have to follow or they need to do, or what type of pressure, like real pressure, would take to get the videos released rather than just trying to make them feel good from the public feel bad from the public standpoint. So you got to put more subservience. Hey, you're right. Excuse me. I got to put more subservience in slavery into it, and I got to add a little Nigerian into it. You're right. You're funny, man. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you're a lawyer, Ben Crump, so you don't know how to get the tapes released. You're a lawyer.
I mean, you can shut us all down real simple. Show us a video that warrants why this police officer was shooting that car and killed this beautiful little black baby. I mean, it's real simple.
Good question, Elizabeth.
We're not asking for anything extraordinary. We don't need you to say no more. Just show the video. Don't say no more. Just release the video.
Here go another rhyme.
They don't need to say no more. Just release the video.
They don't need to say no more. Just release the video. Stop with the dang on. We didn't come to see Run DMC. We didn't come to see BEN, the MC Crump. I thought you was a lawyer. Oh, excuse me, you a civil rights lawyer. Excuse me. He's a civil rights lawyer. Slinky, that's a good question. That's a good question, Slinky. That's a good question.
The Mississippi Bureau of Investigations ain't got to say no more. Just release the video. It is that simple. It is that simple.
I go back to the good time episode. There you go, Terrell. Terrell, we on point, Terrell. We on point. We on the same thing. Yeah. We just talking about the other day, the good time episode where Buddy was with the jive, talking jive. Yeah, talking jive. We don't got to see no more. Just show the video. That's gonna be the Ben Crump new single. No more, show the video. No more, show the. Come on, bro. Be serious, Ben. This is. Look, this is Ben Crump playing in these people's face. This is these people playing in these people's face. These people lost their baby, and you sitting up here playing in these people's face. Come on, man. Come on. You don't need no more. Just show the video. Can we learn something from this press conference, Benjamin? Benjamin, can we learn something rather than just come here to be fired up? Come on, man.
Because they have to try to justify that it was a life or death situation. Because if it's not a life or death situation, God have mercy on them for shooting into a car where they knew an infant baby was in that car. Think about that, y'all.
But see, Battle Ganja, that's my problem with him, and I'm with you. I'm with you with what you were saying earlier. That's my problem with him in this particular case. Is those are the things that we should be talking about. Those are the things that he should be saying. As a lawyer, why don't you make sure we understand the law? Why don't you make sure we understand the process instead of sitting up there doing all this preaching? But black folk are so crazy. They are so crazy. They sitting up there soaking it in. Yes. Making me feel good. And so I bet you somebody gonna say Ben Crump took us to church. Yeah, but his ass ain't a preacher, he a lawyer. Is he gonna be able to take that into the courtroom and win? Now, luckily in their case, the way it's shaking up, it looks like they may have a chance of winning this. But can we learn something from this, Mr. Benjamin? If you so about the civil rights, if you so about the people, what are we leaving here having learned rather than leaving here just being fired up? This ain't no damn barbecue. Come on.
About the lack of humanity. That's why we got to find out information about the San Antonio police officer who shot in the vehicle.
Black Titanic, how you doing?
We need to know what his background was. That's right. What did he have any other accusations of excessive force? Right. Did he have any accusations of bias or discriminatory actions? Right. We need to check into his background immediately. We need to know what was going through his mind when he shot into a car with an infant baby.
I want to get to the part where they're talking about the opera.
You know, the video is going to show us whether this was religious. And we're going to talk about the findings of his
the independent
his initial review. He determined based on the information that he has in his position.
Hold on, y'all. We got to celebrate. We have to celebrate. Black Titanic turned 82 years old on Monday. Got to give a round of applause. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. That is amazing. That's a blessing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Possession at the time of review. The cause of death, which is no mystery to anyone, shotgun wound of the torso. The manner of death, homicide. State of review. The forensic pathologist was retained to review early investigative information pertaining to the shooting death of the infant, Kohen Wiley. The initial question was to ascertain to reasonable degrees of medical probability and medical certainty the positions of the entrance and exit gunshot wounds present on the infant body. Material reviews were photographs of the infant body, photographs of the motor vehicle transporting the infant, and direct observation of the infant body itself.
Oh, Elizabeth, we getting to that next. As soon as we get through this, we get into that.
Gunshot wound of the torso, entrance right side of the chest, and that's going to be very important, and I'll explain in a minute. A subsection of this finding of entrance wound right side of the chest is the pseudo stippling on the right side of the chest and the abdomen.
Read that thing,
and I'll
Ben.
explain that in just a second.
Read that thing,
And
Ben.
Dr. Mitchell goes through great detail to explain every aspect of his finding. Exit wound, the left side of the chest.
The left side of the chest.
The direction is from right to left, not front to back. That's going to be important. Right to left. And then he has a preliminary explanation, even though he has 2 pages of details. Destruction along the path of the wound track, including tissue and organ involvement, cannot be determined at this time due to the limited materials available for case review. However, due to the positioning of the entrance and the exit wounds, one or more thoracic organs, the heart, the lungs, the aorta, and the esophagus, are likely to have been severely injured to cause the fatality of the infant baby, Kohen Wiley. What he's saying is because they had already had the autopsy and he did not reopen the baby's body, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations did an autopsy before they embalmed the baby. And it's no mystery as to the cause of death, but he was determining the entry wound and the exit wound. And he said because he did not reopen the baby's body, he cannot conclude that the bullet, whether it hit the baby's heart or the baby's lungs or the baby's aorta or the baby esophagus. But we know because the baby was killed that some of those vital organs was hit by the bullet of this police officer. And so that is the preliminary findings. I won't go into detail. I think we'll try to show you better than we can tell you. I want to see the.
All right, so I'm going to wrap this one up here for this particular story because I think we have enough information to understand that the family does have a case. Family does have a case. The optics around this doesn't look good, especially with us now knowing that the mother is flexing donation money at the funeral with that big smile on her face. And then, of course, Ben Crump, you know. Hey, man, look. And Ben Crump is from because I know Ben Crump has a base here in Tallahassee. He's based here in Tallahassee. He went to Florida State University. He's from Lumberton, North Carolina. He went to South Plantation High School and then went to Florida State University. No excuse, and the race soldiers can't tell you that he feared. No, he definitely did not fear for his life. He definitely was not in fear for his life. He went out with the intention of taking life, and unfortunately, the life he took was the young babies. Now, what we did learn is, for one, the optics don't look right because of the money, especially mama flexing money. But the best friend is the reason that they are in this situation. The best friend need her ass whooped. The best friend is the reason that they're in this situation. The best friend is the one who's accused of stealing, not Cohen's mother. The best friend is the one who's accused of stealing and put them in this situation. And then the officer comes in and makes it worse, inciting the situation, adding more fuel to the fire, using his car as a weapon, and using his weapon, his firearm, taking the life of the baby and hitting the driver, the one who's accused of stealing. This is wild. This is wild. And we see that they have no regard for Black life. So that's why we have to have the highest regard for Black life, Black people. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on. Get to another story. They're trying to rewrite history. On one hand, they're trying to take us off the planet. And on the other hand, they want to rewrite history. Because we crazy, right? And remember, our literacy rates and our literacy levels are helping them to be able to rewrite history slowly but surely. So the more that we don't teach our children how to read, the more that we don't make sure our children understand comprehension, the more we refuse to teach our children our history, because we have to realize a lot of Black people are not teaching our people our history. We're going to keep repeating things. And then history can be rewritten. But like you're saying, Renee, yeah, 3 bullets. Yeah, exactly, Renee. Exactly. So this story is about the right-wing political commentator, Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh think he's smart. So I took Dr. Clark's advice when he said, study everything, listen to everybody. So I tried to make sure I have a diverse pool of things that I listen to, information that I pull from, not to say I believe or disbelieve, just trying to learn and see what's going on in the world. So I put a short out earlier in this week, and it was Matt Walsh. And this is what Matt Walsh looks like. So Matt Walsh has the nerve to basically say that Emmett Till did S.A. Carolyn Dunham, and Carolyn Dunham was not lying. This is what this video is about. Him going out of his way to say that Emmett Till was a predator. Now, where he get his information from, I don't know. My problem with people like Matt Walsh is Matt Walsh makes a couple documentaries and now he thinks he's an intellectual. He has a successful right-wing YouTube channel that promotes white supremacist rhetoric, and now that he thinks he's intelligent. And now his ego is pushing him to the point to where I am going to tell you people what history actually happened. We all know that in America, we have a history of white women lying, white women tears and white women lies. There are stories now. It's a story I'm gonna cover this upcoming week. White women tears, white women lying. Emmett Till lost his life because Carolyn Dunham lied on him. Prove us otherwise. But this is the story of this right-wing suspected white supremacist, because his rhetoric is suspected white supremacist rhetoric. And if you're not a suspected white supremacist, why are you talking like that? And he's going out of his way to try to demonize the name of Emmett Till. And we're not gonna have that. Now, I child of God, I'm with you. Black Titanic. But see, this is a part of the adultification of young black boys. Right, Steph. But this is a part of the adultification of young black boys and the demonizing of black men. Because Emmett Till had, according to this fool right here, Emmett Till had to be a predator. She did pass away, but she was it was reported that according to the Department of Justice, it was considerable doubt in her story. Considerable doubt in her story, according to the Department of Justice. And she admit that she had some lies in the story. She admitted some inconsistencies. She didn't outright admit that he didn't do it, but she admitted that she didn't tell the full truth, which is she didn't tell the truth at all. We know she didn't tell the truth, but she admitted that she didn't tell the outright truth to try to still make it seem like he did it. But there's always been inconsistencies in the story from the beginning, according to the Department of Justice. Now, child of God, I'm with you. And he just look at him. Yeah, he just make the stuff up. He sit around in this basement, digging in his butt, smelling it, not taking showers, and just saying stupid stuff. But let's listen to him so we can go ahead and debunk all this. Hold on. Let me take it off of mute. And I swear he think he's brilliant.
Propaganda isn't easy. When the propaganda was written more than 70 years ago, but we should try anyway, just to see what we might find out. Again, they're lying blatantly to our faces about events that we all experienced, and that in most cases were caught on video for the whole world to see. If they can and do lie about those sorts of things, imagine what kind of lies they can tell about events that none of us experienced.
He's saying black people lie. He's saying black people have a history of lying. He's saying black people have a history of lying. Rosewood. Black people have a history of lying. All these cities that have been burned down. Emmett Till is a result of white people lying. The story we're talking, you are lying about a lie. He's lying about a lie. This what happened when you sit around digging in your butt all day and smelling it, right?
With no videos to go back and check to confirm the record. Consider every supposed racist atrocity from decades or centuries ago, every quote-unquote innocent minority wrongfully persecuted by racist whites. I'm not saying that all of those stories aren't true. I'm saying that you can't assume that they are true. You have to go back with a skeptical eye, willing to question even the narratives that are most taken for granted. Indeed, especially
because black people have a history of just doing that to white people. Black people have a history of just lying on white people and just ruining their lives, ruining their reputations, white people have a history of losing their lives. White people have a history of towns being burnt down. White people have a history of families being destroyed because of black lives. Stop it, Matt Walsh. You can lie to your ignorant right-wing people, but we know how to read, comprehend. We know how to do analysis, research, all these things. You're not gonna lie to us.
Especially those narratives. So let's go through a couple of examples now. Let's begin that process today. And let's start with the killing of a 14-year-old black boy named Emmett Till. Now, there's a good chance that you've almost certainly heard of Emmett Till. As the writer Steve Saylor has pointed out, he's not just a fixture in high school history textbooks. He was also center stage during the BLM hysteria of the past few years. Quote, Emmett Till, who was murdered in 1955, has been mentioned in 427 different New York Times articles.
And what? And what, Matt Walsh? You mad that Emmett Till is mentioned? Once again, they don't want the actual history of America to be revealed because it's going to make us think different. Now, of course, we got to share. It's a lot of stuff we got to share. It's not just that simple. But it is a part of it, because if you can, once again, the power of ideas, the power of controlling the masses with information, institutions, ideas, everything that I've been reading in Blueprint to Black Power is being showed in this video. He knows exactly who his audience is. I think he has an audience that's over 1 million of white folk who they hear their wake-up call. They not their wake-up call, they hear their rallying cry. Once again, this dude is going to try to demonize a 15-year-old as a predator.
Over just the last 10 years, Emmett Till was mentioned more often in American books in 2022 than in any previous year. So as far as enduring myths go, Emmett Till is certainly up there. The basic narrative, which you've probably been told in school and by the media, is that Till was abducted and lynched by racist white people in Mississippi back in 1955. His crime allegedly was just simply whistling at a pretty white woman in a grocery store. Her name was Carolyn Bryant.
Man, let's be real. Emmett Till ain't say nothing to that white lady. That was the story. The story that she said was this 15-year-old boy was whistling at her. Man, wasn't nobody trying to holler at Karen them Dunning. Emmett, a 15-year-old boy trying to holler at this old ass white lady. Look, come on, man. And listen to him. Listen to him.
On him. It was a serious violation of racial codes at the time. So Bryant, who was very offended, lied to her family and told them that Emmett Till had groped her. This is the story. And in response, Bryant's husband and his half-brother hunted the boy down a few days later, abducted him from a cabin, and brutally lynched him. The story was a major catalyst for the civil rights movement. Many decades later, in her 70s, Bryant admitted that she had lied about Emmett Till. Black activists then demanded that prosecutors charge her with a crime, and ultimately...
You heard him. You heard him out of his mouth. She admitted that she lied about Till. But so if you're just going to say that she admitted about lying about Emmett Till, why are we here? Why are we here? Let's back it up, because that's what he said. She admitted
that she had lied about Emmett Till. Bryant's husband and his half-brother hunted the boy down a few days later, abducted him from a cabin, and brutally lynched him. The story was a major catalyst for the civil rights movement. Many decades later, in her 70s, Bryant admitted that she had lied about Emmett Till.
So why are we here? Why are we making the video of you framing Emmett Till as a predator if you just admitted that she lied? Am I missing something? Y'all help me out. Am I missing something?
Black activists then demanded that prosecutors charge her with a crime, and ultimately Bryant died before they could get their vengeance. That is the official narrative. A few years ago, when Bryant passed away, CBS News.
And welcome to everybody everybody in the chat, everybody in here. Thank y'all for being in here. I appreciate you all being here. Welcome.
News repeated this version of events verbatim on air. Watch.
Carolyn Bryant Dunham, the white woman who accused Emmett Till of making advances towards her, has died. 14-year-old Emmett Till was kidnapped and brutally murdered by Bryant's then-husband and his half-brother in Mississippi in 1955 over the allegation. The two men were acquitted in his killing by an all-white jury, but later confessed in an interview. The case gained national attention after Emmett Till's mother allowed Jet magazine to take and publish photos of her son's mutilated body in an open casket. The horrific image shocked the nation and served as the catalyst for the civil rights movement. Years after Till's death, Dunham admitted to fabricating parts of her story, although she was never charged with a crime.
Now, the problem here is that virtually every aspect of what that anchor just said is a fabrication. First of all, Emmett Till was not accused of merely making advances towards Bryant. That's an extremely, I guess we would say, sanitized and deliberately misleading way to present the story. According to Bryant's testimony in court, as well as her memoir, Emmett Till grabbed her hand and said, "How about a date, baby?" And when she...
Oh yeah, because we should believe her. We should believe her because, 15-year-old boys always doing that, just walking up to grown white women in the 1950s, grabbing their hands and just asking them for dates. Because that's common practice. This boy got to be on something. This boy got to ingest, he got to be snorting Comet. He got to drink Pine Sol or something. I bet you Matt Walsh drank toilet water. You got to drink toilet water to have this type of logic. If Bird Brain was a person, so because you're a white dude with glasses, you supposed to be intelligent. If Bird Brain was a person.
Trying to flee, Emmett Till followed her to the cash register, forcefully grabbed her waist and said, "What's the matter, baby? Can't you take it?" He told her she didn't need to be afraid and explained, quote, "I've been with white women before."
A 15-year-old boy. The fact that he believes that show you the level of intelligence that he has. The Department of Justice don't even agree. The Department of Justice even said that Carolyn Dunham cannot be trusted. He really believed that. He really believes that. That's crazy. So Emmett Till is a predator because Carolyn Dunham said he is. And then he was brutally murdered by her relatives. And he's trying to justify it. That lets you know how they see us and how they feel about us. He's justifying the brutal murder of a 15-year-old boy that was lied on by an old-ass white lady.
Emmett Till did not leave the store until one of his friends entered and forcefully removed him. So this was, according to her, an attempted sexual assault.
Get him, Kush.
Not just in advance. Now, these facts are obviously not flattering for Emmett Till, and for what it's worth, this behavior would not be out of character for the Till family. I think it's worth noting, Emmett's father was named Louis Till. He enlisted in the Army during World War II to avoid going to prison for domestic violence. But Louis Till's behavior did not change overseas. He was court-martialed for the murder of an...
He said Emmett Till Emmett Till's behavior would be like this because of, okay, all right.
Allied civilian during the Italian campaign, as well as the rape of 2 pregnant Italian women. Ultimately, he was found guilty and hanged. And incidentally, he had been incarcerated at the same military prison as the American poet Ezra Pound, who was jailed for treason. Pound even wrote a verse about Louis Till saying, "Till was hung yesterday for murder and rape with trimmings." Now, of course, the fact that Emmett Till's father was a domestic abuser and a rapist does not by itself demonstrate that Emmett Till did anything wrong. But, if we're just being logical about it, it makes it.
I'm going to demonize your whole family. I'm going to sit my happy behind in my little musty house and demonize your whole family 70 years later. Such a coward. Such a coward. Why don't you go to the Till family and present this in front of the Till family instead of in your safe place spreading your lies? Such a coward. I'm going to demonize your whole family. And let's just say, even if his father did those things, what does that have to do with his behavior? So if I find somebody in Matt Walsh's family who's a criminal, does that mean that automatically Matt Walsh is a criminal? No, I'm just saying, because the same thing, I'm pretty sure somebody in Matt Walsh's family is a criminal. So that means Matt Walsh also has to be a criminal. right? If the same is for Emmett, the same got to be for Matt. Yeah.
More likely that he would engage in similar conduct, and taken together with Bryant's testimony, it's obviously context that makes her claim more credible, though still none of us can ever know for sure what really happened in that store that day. I mean, we really don't know for sure. But
no, but you were just so emphatic about your answer. You were just so emphatic about him being a predator. But now you want to try to Matt Walsh. No, see, this is why I did my short, and this is why I'm doing this video, because I found this whole video, and this dude is an idiot. Basically, he's saying, I took what Carolyn Bryant said in her book, and I ran with that, even though the Department of Justice don't believe her. She doesn't have credibility with the Department of Justice, but she got the credibility with the Department of Matt Walsh. So that makes her telling the truth, even though the damn government don't believe her. The officials don't believe her, but Matt Walsh believes her, so she has to be correct. He think we stupid.
But the major lie about Emmett Till is what happened many years after his death. And the claim from the left and the media and activists is that Bryant later recanted her allegations that Emmett Till had physically assaulted her. They say that Bryant admitted in her dying years that she made the whole thing up, and she feels really bad about it.
No. According to the Department of Justice, there was considerable doubt about her original count, especially her claims made that Emmett Till made lewd comments. It was never a thing saying that she lied on him, and say it was always that her story never added all the way up. There was always inconsistencies in her story. But why? But my question is, what made you believe her? What hard evidence did Carolyn Dunham present to you to make you believe her story, other than you being a racist asshole? Because if this is about evidence, what evidence does he have? What evidence has Carolyn Dunham presented to make him say that Emmett Till actually did what she said he did at 15 years old? At 15 years old in the 1950s, in public, and an older white lady. Really? All right.
This is a core part of the story, and here's ABC repeating that claim. Listen.
We're coming. Reverend Wheeler Parker says that his Bible tells him to forgive. And he says that's what he's doing here. Thank you. Taking an overnight train to Mississippi with his wife, trying to make peace. Oh my goodness. With the murder of his cousin by a clan of racists.
If you dwell on it, you'll come out of it injured.
Nearly 70 years ago to this day. This is where the white woman who worked here claimed that his 14-year-old cousin had grabbed her, put his hands around her waist, and then told her he had slept with white women before.
Yeah, right.
It was all over the daily papers with quotes from a young Wheeler Parker calling 21-year-old Carolyn Bryant a pretty lady. Interviews he says he
15-year-old 15-year-old young black boy in the 1950s in public walks up to a 21-year-old white woman and grabs her by the waist and make lewd comments. Who believes that? Who believes that?
Never gave. Bryant and her husband Roy owned the store. In 2007, she told a book writer that she lied, and then she died in 2023, never apologizing to the black families.
What you should notice about all these stories is how...
So Matt Walsh just lied. Matt Walsh just said that this story said that Carolyn Dunham lied about the incident. All it said was she lied. It didn't say specifically what she lied about. So you just lied, and you think we stupid because there's always been doubt in her story. There's never been nobody with sense believed her story. Nobody with sense believed her story. Even though white people covered it up, they didn't believe it. There's always been doubt in the story. All that thing said is she lied. It didn't specifically say what she lied about. He was more specific in saying that ABC story said she lied about the incident. Come on, Matt Walsh. You got to be smarter than that.
Definitive they are. All of the official versions of the Emmett Till story make the claim that beyond a shadow of a doubt, Bryant admitted she was wrong. Pretty much everyone accepts this version of events to the point that just a couple of years ago, black activists tried to have the elderly woman thrown in prison. And at the time, she was in her 80s and in failing health.
Yes.
But they didn't care. They went all the way to a grand jury, which rejected their claims. Watch.
Well, a grand jury in Mississippi today declined to indict the white woman whose accusations set off the lynching of Emmett Till nearly 70 years ago. Carolyn Bryant Dunham, now 88, initially claimed that Till made unwanted advances towards her at her family's grocery store. It led to the brutal torture and lynching of the 14-year-old. The prosecutor said the grand...
But even less, but so you mean to tell me that let's say if it was true. So if it was true, the result of unwanted advances is a brutal torture, hanging, and taking of your life. That's how white people respond. But we violent though, right? But we're the problem ones. They saw a chance to take a black life and they did it. Same thing in this first story that we just saw. It was a chance to take a black life, and they took a black life, and this white woman is the catalyst behind it. And this coward, Matt Walsh, who ain't got no nuts, who is not a man, will sit his cowardly butt on the internet 70 years later and spread this bull. Coward, Matt Walsh, I hope you hear this. You are a coward. You are not a man. You are not born with testicles. You are not a man. You a little boy, and you will always be a little boy. You have no spine. You have no integrity. You ain't got nothing. You a cracker's cracker.
Jury found insufficient evidence to charge Dunham.
Here are just a few of the top comments on that video to give you an idea of the public reaction. Quote, "She's definitely going to hell." Quote,
"She lied.
You got to be kidding me. Don't worry. God knows what you did. We know what you did. One day you'll receive what you deserve. May God hold Emmett in his hands." Quote,
and he has a problem with it because we're supposed to allow white supremacy to do whatever, and we just supposed to be passive and not say anything and not stand up for ourselves. You ever notice white people always have a problem when we standing up for ourselves? White people always have a problem when you got pushed back. White people always have a problem when you're not going to allow them to just walk all over you. When you choose not to be a doormat, when you choose not to allow the system of white supremacy to just run all over you, white people get a problem with it.
"Always angers me when the truly evil live to a ripe old age." Now, those are the least deranged quotes I can find. It's all out bloodlust over a dying woman in her 80s. And it's all based on a total fabrication. Bryant never recanted her allegation. The claim that she recanted was made by a historian named Timothy Tyson. He wrote a book in 2017 called The Blood of Emmett Till, in which he claimed that Bryant recanted her claims.
Department of Justice. The Department of Justice stated there remained considerable doubt about Dunham's original account, especially her claims that Till made lewd comments physically accosted her. That's from the Department of Justice. It says, let me read, because this is from the Department of Justice that I'm reading. I'm going to read the whole thing. In 1995, Emmett Till, a 14-year-old black youth visiting family in Mississippi, was taken out by white men after the wife of one of them claimed that Till propositioned her. Till, who was from Chicago, Illinois, visited relatives near Money, Mississippi during the summer of 1955. On August 24th of that year, he entered Bryant's grocery store and meat market and had an interaction with Carolyn Bryant, the wife of the store's owner. Accounts differ as to precisely what happened during that encounter. Black witnesses who had accompanied Till to the store reported, both near the time of the incident and more recently, that Till's behavior was limited to whistling at Bryant as she left the store. Bryant, however, alleged that Till was physically aggressive towards her and that he propositioned her. What is clear from all the accounts is that Bryant suffered no physical harm and that Till's conduct was likely perceived by many in the white community to violate their unwritten code. This is from the Department of Justice that I'm reading. Prevalent in the Jim Crow South that black men were forbidden from initiating interactions with white women. 4 days later, Till was forcibly abducted from his relative's home by at least 2 men. I'm reading this from the Civil Rights Division of the U.S. Department of Justice. I don't care what the hell Matt Walsh is saying from some whatever. This is from the Department of Justice that I just read to you all.
About Till in 2008, many decades after the incident. He recorded all of his interviews for the book, including his interviews with Bryant, standard practice for historians who are writing a book. So you'd think he'd be able to support his claims, especially a claim as explosive as that one. But it turns out that somehow Tyson's transcripts and audio recordings did not capture this bombshell admission. The FBI opened an investigation into Tyson's claims, since it would obviously be relevant to a criminal proceeding, even if the statute of limitations had expired. And they found no support for it whatsoever. This is from the Washington Post. The article is from 2021. Quote, the Justice Department has closed the latest federal investigation into the 1955 lynching of Emmett Till in rural Mississippi. Federal authorities reopened the case 3 years ago after a new book reported that Bryant had denied in an interview that Till had made any advances. In theory, that could have meant she lied in decades-old court proceedings. Justice Department officials said Monday that when the FBI questioned Bryant about these allegations, about these alleged statements to the book's author, she said she did not make them, and the author's interview tape and transcripts do not show her making such statements. The book said Bryant told Tyson that Till had not come on to her sexually, a disclosure that directly contradicted her testimony 6 decades earlier, when she told a jury that Till grabbed her by the waist and uttered obscenities. In a statement, Justice Department said the FBI was unable to confirm Tyson's assertion that Donham had recanted her prior testimony. When agents interviewed her, she denied ever recanting and provided no new information, Justice Department statement said. Authorities concluded there was insufficient evidence to prove that she ever told the professor that any part of her testimony was untrue.
There was insufficient evidence to ever prove that anything she said was true. Whatever Tyson said, I'm not worried about what Tyson said. I'm going off what Department of Justice is saying about Carolyn Bryant. Department of Justice saying that there were inconsistencies in her story from the beginning. So he can say, I don't care about Tyson. I don't care about Tyson.
Although the professor represented that he had recorded 2 interviews with her, he provided the FBI with only 1 recording, which did not contain any recantation. A transcript of Tyson's other interview also did not contain the alleged recantation.
Yeah, Tyson
officials
was wrong,
said. Separately, NBC News reported that, quote, but Donham denied to federal investigators that she lied in her testimony, a source of knowledge of the case said, and there were inconsistencies with statements made by Tyson. So to recap, to this day, they're lying to us about what the woman alleged Emmett Till did to her.
But remember, just like I found this from the Department of Justice about the Emmett Till case, just like I found it, he could have found this too. But they craft stories specific ways for specific messages. I wasn't even trying to find this. I just clicked on the link, clicked on the right link and found this. So ideas, media influence.
They're lying by claiming the woman recanted her claim. She didn't. And they're burying a lot of information about the case, about Emmett Till, including the fact that his father was a rapist. And with all that in mind, you have to wonder if they're telling the truth about any aspect of this particular story.
Now, I'm going to stop this right here for sake of time so we can get to our last story. But it's funny how he's trying to shape this. So Emmett Till has to be violent because Emmett Till comes from a violent home. Now, you don't have no hard proof that Emmett Till come from a violent home. No hard proof. But let's just say Emmett Till father was abusive. All right. So what does that have to do with Emmett Till? So that means Emmett Till is a predator because his okay, gotcha. At 15. And white people have the history of all the violent things that he's talking about. White people have that history. And The fact that we're talking about this is because of the actions of white people and that history being played out of Carolyn Dunham lying on Emmett Till. And Emmett Till's life being taken because she lied on him, and 3 grown men decide to beat a teenager and take his life. And then this coward, Matt Walsh, 70 years later, who thinks he's smart, who thinks he's intelligent, think he's tough, gonna come put out this expose 70 years later like a coward. But once again, they have no regard for black life. These the people who present themselves as the Christian people. They for Jesus and God. White Christian nationalism don't give a damn about black life. They use Christianity. This is a tool for them. We use Christianity to be uplifted. They use Christianity to conquer. You got to understand. All right. So let's get to our last story so we can go ahead and get it in. This last story is about the Haitian situation, the temporary protective status situation that's going on right now in America. So apparently they are threatening to end the temporary protection status of over 350,000 Haitians. A lot of black Americans are taking the time to kick a lot of Haitians and saying, waving their finger, I told you this, and I told you that. And like I said at the beginning, now that young lady that went on the daily wrap-up crew, we talked about that. We did a live on that. The young lady who went on the daily wrap-up crew and was like, you dirty black Americans and all. See, those are the people who don't make this situation good. And you got some FBA who assholes, and those people don't make this situation good either. Now, I am not gonna kick nobody while they're down. Like I said, when I heard this, it made me think about that raft that had all those Haitians coming into Miami back in the late 80s that were turned away. I'm a human, so my humanity always comes out, and I don't feel good for them. And like yesterday, I was looking at a documentary about the state of Haiti, particularly Port-au-Prince, with all the gang wars and barbecue and all of them going on over there. So it's not good for a lot of these Haitians, but that's why race relations that's why black people throughout the diaspora, we got to get our stuff together throughout the diaspora. I understand everybody ain't gonna make it, and I understand delineation has to happen, and I understand every group of people need to be able to self-actualize, but we got to understand everybody ain't gonna make it. But for those who are gonna make it, we got to find a way to work together. Some may agree, some may disagree, but hey. So on June 25th, 2026, the Supreme Court allowed the federal government to move forward with ending temporary protection status for Haitians and Syrian nationals. Reports say this affects roughly 350 Haitians and about 350,000 Haitians and 6,000 Syrians. TPS protects people from deportation and gives them work authorization when their home country is unsafe because of disaster, war, or extraordinary conditions, which Haiti is right now. The USCIS says that TPS may be granted when conditions temporarily prevent safe return. For Haitians, this could mean loss of legal work authorization, increased risk of removal, family separation, job loss, housing instability, and fear of being sent back to a country still facing severe instability. But that, to me, that's why I don't get the diaspora wars. That's why I don't get the strife going back and forth between all the groups. Like a lot of these groups of black people that are coming over here for asylum, for safety, for a better life. But I also get it too from the other sense of white people are going to put their hand in the mix and stir up that tribalism. But tribalism is also innate to human beings, and black people are no different, right? And we all understand about the tension between Haitians and black Americans, especially that's been going on lately. Once again, especially when that young lady went on the daily wrap-up crew and made the dirty black Americans comment, right? So some Haitians and some black Americans have exchanged disrespectful words online, but this ruling is bigger than the internet beef. A state deportation policy will not only punish disrespectful individuals, it will affect families, workers, church communities, children, and people who may have built their lives here for years. So, but one of the things that they have to understand is, unfortunately, bad apples do spoil the bunch. Bad apples do spoil the bunch. And every group of people do understand that bad apples do spoil the bunch. And in this case, I think a lot of Haitians who are disrespectful have been so disrespectful that they're not going to right back against you. I've been meaning to call you, talk about that anyway. But because of a lot of disrespect, you do have a lot of foundational Black Americans who ain't trying to hear nothing. My heart goes out for the Haitians. I'm gonna be real. My heart goes out for the ones that are going through this. My heart goes out for the ones who are in Haiti going through the stuff that they're going through. My heart does go out. Now, once again, we do not stand for disrespect from anybody. But like I've said before, and I say it again, I don't think that we should be angry at a whole group of people because of the actions of a few. The few who are on that bullshit, they can go to hell. But the ones who are not, I think this is where our humanity as Black Americans come in. I'm different. Like I say, I'm different. I'm not one to push the diaspora wars. And I know a lot of people don't like that over here, but I don't care. I'm not throwing fuel on the fire. I will check disrespect that comes from anybody, but I'm not mad at a whole island of people because you got a couple assholes. But this video is this is Haitian leaders react to Supreme Court TPS decision. This is what families should do now. So this is they're giving information or giving perspectives. And I think these are Haitian activists giving perspectives on what's going on and how they plan on moving forward with this. They try to help as many people as possible. So please hit that like button once again.
Need to know as far as moving forward, right? Taking action now so that it doesn't seem like things are just coming at them so fast.
Yes, since 2019, Dallas Haitians United our goal has been to be the resource center that unifies Haitians in Dallas, in Fort Worth, and Haiti, and kind of bridge that gap. So every year or every time something has come down from the government, we've had to find a way to come together and relay the proper.
Yeah, so Carnegie, and to your point, that's part of the disrespect too. But that's also part of those particular Haitians who came over here and decided with white supremacy and decide to be, mouthpieces and pets for white supremacists, to put out the rhetoric to be like immigrants built America. Immigrants had a hand in building some pieces of America, but by the time most of these immigrants got here, the foundation of what made America what it is has already been laid out. And I covered that. I covered that on Friday, my video on Friday. Yesterday, matter of fact, I covered that with the Indian guy, Dinesh, the Indian guy trying to downplay the role of Foundation of Black Americans in the building of America. Yes, Renee. Yeah, like I'm a human at the end of the day. Like, I'm not a hateful person, and I refuse to have hate for a whole group of people that ain't, and I know the majority of the group ain't doing that now. Like white people, now that's different because that history in the majority of the group. But I can't do that to the Haitians. I can't do that to anybody in the diaspora. But we will check the individuals that have disrespect.
Information so people are clear on what their next steps are. Earlier we mentioned some options that we have. Currently, we have an ongoing partnership with the J.L. Turner Legal Association. They're an African-American bar association here in Dallas, and they have been awesome with providing free legal services. They have a assortment of different attorneys on their board, and we have a form on our website at dhu1804.org under legal assistance, where anyone looking for any information can fill out the form, and it goes directly to that legal association to give them free legal assistance. We also have a ongoing partnership with Jules Toussaint Association, or I'm sorry, Jules Toussaint, let me get it correct. The Jules Toussaint legal firm, they pretty much anytime we have any concerns or our community is coming to us, we usually host an informational session so that there is clarity on what the rulings are. And they offer free legal consultations as far as immigration goes. And then we do also work with the TMJ Manifold Services, who offers paralegal services. So that looks like application preparation and more.
Tell me where I should go on here. DHU1804.org.
Oh yeah, what's up, Emmett?
Resources.
Yes, go to the very top and you'll click Resource Center.
So,
imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
yeah, definitely getting that ninja wake up call. Definitely getting that Negro wake up call. It's like y'all might come over here and some of y'all might come over here and some of y'all might do our bidding, but we don't like y'all like that. But I mean, but the American government has been treating Haitians like this my whole life. Like I said, my first initial thought was a flashback to that life raft with all those Haitians in it being sent back to Haiti, like in the late 80s. Like, come on, man. Like, white people don't like none of y'all, none of us. They don't like none of us. But yeah, Nemesis, you're right. Same stuff every day. All these groups of people will do whatever they can to erase our history to make sure that they can put their history in there. We don't have any friends. And sometimes we don't even have any friends amongst those that look like us. Sometimes we don't have friends amongst those who are among the same group as us. That's why we got to learn how to rock with who's who. The old saying is, I root for everybody black. I don't say that no more. I don't root for everybody black. I root for everybody whose actions show that they're really down for the people. But they are giving information for the Haitian community to see what they can do to help themselves moving forward. So we're gonna watch a little bit of this, then a little bit of another video this young lady has of a Haitian lady expressing her sentiments.
Resource Center. And then scroll down to legal assistance.
Okay. So this is where you can go if you need legal assistance immediately. And that is in collaboration with which organization?
The J.L. Turner Legal Association.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to make sure that I gave folks a visual of what the page would look like once they got there. I don't know why it's not showing on the screen, but I did click where it actually shows the legal support and advocacy and how they can get that information. But DHU1804.org/legal assistance is where you can find that information. Thank you so much for sharing that resource, because I think a lot of folks are certainly going to be asking questions about that. Val, one line from your statement that stuck with me. You said TPS holders followed the rules. Why was that important for you to say?
I think we've had some, there's a lot of immigration connotation that that a lot of people here are hiding or illegal. They're not going by the books. They actually did. They went in front of the immigration building, people, judges, and they sought help.
If some of them can get to Canada, that would be good. If they actually can get to Canada, that would be real good. So,
and it was a legal way of getting them to a safe place, a safer country. So to me, there's always this connotation being put out there that every single immigrant came here illegally, snuck through somewhere from the back. I don't know, but I want to make sure that the TPS, specifically TPS, was designed by Congress here, voted by people here, Republicans and Democrats. So it wasn't just one group, it was a unanimous vote. And so to me, to
Tara Williams Thank you for the $10 support. Tar, thank you. Dr. Khalid Muhammad said we must separate from this wicked beast. We must separate. And that's what my man Will Justice is always saying. Always, we got to separate. We got to separate in our minds first, and then physically got to get ourselves right. I appreciate you, Tar, for your support.
Look at all this money, homie. I got all this money, homie.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's definitely getting worse. It's definitely gonna get worse.
To not talk about that would be a disservice
How you
to
doing,
this
Steph,
specific group of Haitians under this program.
Veronica, I want to go back to you because there's a misconception that today's ruling means families, or not today's ruling, I should say, the recent ruling, pardon me, means families should start packing their bags, and that's just not true. Can you explain why it's so important for people to actually consult with an immigration attorney before they start trying to, run and do all kind of stuff and pack this or do anything, right? To start with the bare minimum at the beginning. Let's consult with the immigration attorney before we do anything moving forward.
Right. Well, the unfortunate thing with these kinds of rulings that just come out is it kind of causes people to come in a frenzy. They don't know exactly what they need to do. They just kind of want a solution. So packing bags and just leaving isn't ideal. There are so many different options where people can find more of a permanent status as opposed to the temporary protective status, whether that's they're parents of U.S. citizens or they're married to a U.S. citizen. So finding those different options through legal resources is something that we recommend as DHU. And yeah.
Val, one of the things that you reminded people about TPS holders is that they're raising families, paying taxes, opening businesses, contributing to their communities.
Well, and see, that's why I take the stance, because I'm looking at what Nemesis is saying, Renee Battlegenja, what everybody's saying. And that's why I take the stance that I take when it comes to the diaspora wars of everybody just like jumping on it. We mad at everybody. Like, y'all, like black people, we don't have no strongholds nowhere. Nowhere on this planet do we have strongholds. And I keep saying we need to be concentrating on becoming strong where we are, so we could be a strong link in the chain. Because you're right, there really is no safe place to go. There really is no better place to go at the end of the day, because you're still in the master's house. But the more we fight against each other, the worse we make it, and it's going to continue to get worse. It's going to continue to get worse on the side of the white supremacists. It's going to continue to get worse on the side of us fighting each other. Now, once again, disrespect must be taken care of, but the disrespect is supposed to be there because those people signed up to work for the white folk. They just look like us.
What do you wish more people understood about the human beings behind these headlines?
One thing I don't get, one of the judges has a Haitian child. One of the Supreme Court judges has an adopted Haitian child.
That don't mean nothing.
That doesn't make sense to me at all.
That don't mean nothing because that person has a Haitian child. So what? That means you don't get it, my brother. So what? They don't care about Haitians. They never cared about Haitians just because they have a Haitian child. Clearly they don't, because they made the decision. And the decision has always been made against Haiti. This is not new. America has always treated Haiti and Haitians like toilet paper. They always have.
How she voted. But to me...
and which one is that, Val?
I believe it's Amy Coney Barrett. I'm always misspelling. She has a Haitian child. She has an adopted Haitian child. And so to me, I don't get the vote there, first of all, but let's move beyond that. I think she read the law for the constituent nationality, whatever that is. They're always throwing that around. So my answer to your question is that I would hope people see that these are people living the American dream.
They have Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett and her husband Jesse have 7 children, 2 of whom were adopted from Haiti. The daughter Vivian was adopted in 2005, and John Peter was adopted following the devastating earthquake in 2010. They get paid to do that though, right? But so you think because they adopt 2 Haitian children that they like Haitians, that they down with Haitians? That's ignorant.
The perfect example of what an American dream is. Everyone has come here unwillingly, or they are immigrants. There is nobody here who is okay. Hello, somebody. Everybody is either an immigrant or they were forced to come here. So to me, the TPS, the 350,000 Haitians, this is exactly what 250 years of independence is about, that we're quote unquote celebrating on Saturday. So that's what I would want them to see. This is the exact picture of what an American dream looks like. Working hard, providing for your family, paying your taxes, because taxes is always there. So to me, that's what I would hope people understand.
Veronica, why is it important for families to begin
American
exploring
dream.
those pathways now rather than waiting? Because I know sometimes many things that we know will impact us or has impacted us, sometimes we'll wait, I'll do it next week or the next week or the next month or the whatever. And then we waited months or whatever to get things done. So why is it important for folks to start exploring those pathways now that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, well, if it's one thing we've seen is things change quickly, and these things with immigration take time. So starting now, even having a plan on what pathways they can take is important, so that whatever it's financially, because it's not free to apply for these things, whether it's finding legal assistance, these all take time. They have to come up with paperwork. They have to be able to prove why they need to be here. So all of this is not just a next week or I'll do it when I can thing. There are lives that are involved. There's work that's involved. So if you lose your work permit, you have to be able to pay for different things. So we definitely recommend starting as soon as you can, finding those free legal resources, or consulting with other people that organizations like BHU.
Carnegie, you heard him, right? He has brought into the so-called American dream. What dream? What dream? Look at how Haitian people have been historically treated in this country. Ain't no American dream. The closest they would get to that is to come over and assimilate to whiteness.
We'll be happy to share our resources.
I love that. Val, I want to bring you back in too as a business owner. I guess from that standpoint, what concerns you most moving forward? Could today's decision, I should say, have ripple effects beyond immigration as well as impact local businesses and communities?
I came here in 2008 to Texas, but really I came to the States in 1994. To me, the ruling here and the way this administration is going about it, I think could have ripple effects into future Vals. Not the brand me, but other people building businesses, living the American dream that I am a picture of. Okay, I am a product of coming to this country, getting a green card first, and then applying for my naturalization papers. To me, that's what I see. I could see there are other Haitian boys and girls who are coming up and who are part of the TPS group that are potentially not gonna get their dream or the path set on the right path for them to make that American dream happen. So that's what I'm concerned about mainly. And
he's still stuck on American dream. So the dream is to come and become a citizen of America. Wow. That's the whole dream. To become a citizen of America. Not to advance in America, not to have real power, just become a citizen in America.
That has a ripple effect that is beyond just the 4 years or the 2 years left of this administration. It is beyond that. Yeah.
I want to end by asking both of you the same question, and Veronica, I'll start with you. For folks who are watching this, because most of the people in my audience want to take some type of action, whether big or small, what can they do to genuinely support Haitian families? I mean, having you guys on was my small piece, also sharing the resources and reposting and making sure that it tries to reach a broader audience for folks who may not be completely tapped into what's happening. What can people do to genuinely support?
The first thing I would say is research. Learn what it is that is out there. Learn what rights Haitians or other immigrants have in the United States. There's so much misinformation going around where maybe some people, like Val alluded to, don't believe that immigrants came here the right way, or so many things. I think the first thing would be.
So y'all asking real questions. You asking real questions. What's that? There is no Haitian dream. The Haitian dream is the American dream. It's all amalgamated together.
Education, actually getting the information for yourself and not relying on maybe someone who's going through it to give that information to you. And the next thing that I would say is, if you are somebody who can support, whether it's you are an attorney, you're an organization who already deals with immigration or just wants to support and contribute your time.
You can't handle
if you are a community member
you are correct.
Who maybe is already working with different facilities or companies who
no, he's not concerned with his own
please,
people. He's on,
let us know so that we can pool our resources together and help you.
You caught that too. You caught that, C Heights. You caught that. He just really cool with him being straight. He ain't really cool with everybody. He don't really care like that. You caught that, right?
These communities.
Back to that coalition building. Al, what about you?
I got 3 requests, if you will indulge me. For sure, if people want to call their senators, for sure, here in Texas, we got John Cornyn, and then we got.
Hell, what's the Black American dream? Now we asking about dreams. What's the Black American dream? Because I hear you. You say the Haitian dream is to escape conditions imposed upon them. I get, and with that, I guess the problem with that when you come to America with it, and America is not the place for any dreams of any non-white people to flourish in mass, and that's the problem with that. But what's the Black American dream? Why? See, we here sitting there asking about everybody else's dream. Hell, what's our dream?
Mr. Ted Cruz. So let's see if we can call them and bug the hell out of them and get them to vote. There is a bill, I believe, that's in the House that has been introduced. So it would be nice for it to pass in the House and then go to the Senate. So if we can bug them. November, I'm a VDR. I register people to vote. You know, this November, the biggest clapback that you can give is your vote. You know, and that is the biggest answer.
All right, so we're gonna end out because he talking about voting, and we already know. Right, Renee? We already know. Now, so this is going to be the last video. This is the same young lady, Tashira Parker, interviewing an immigrant mom who was reacting to Supreme Court birthright citizenship ruling. So I hope our dream ain't to become white. I hope our dream ain't to become white. All right, so here's our last video. Then we're gonna wind this thing down. There are some black people throughout the whole diaspora who dream so hard about becoming white that they go as far as bleaching their skin. Now, I did see a video the other day. And shout out to these young black people. I think a black interviewer or a white interviewer was going around asking different races of people if you had a chance to not be the race that you want to be, what would it be? So they went up to a lot of Asians, like as far as Chinese, Japanese, Indians, and they asked all of them, Chinese, Japanese, and Indian young people, if you could be any other race but yours, what would you be? All of those Chinese, Japanese, and Indian students chose white. They said all of them said that they would be white. all of them said that they would be white. They went up to all the black students, and all the black students said, I don't want to be nothing else but black. So I do like that. But there are a significant amount of black people who go as far as whitewashing their minds and bleaching their skin.
Things that I try to do on this show is help folks to see that even if you believe that something does not directly impact you with any story that we talk about, just look around, do a little search, dig into your history, and see that there's somewhere along the way in a line that you by this. For folks who never had to let's say, or had to go through that process, explain what that process is like, because it's not like folks are just sitting on their hands. You know what I mean? Like, can you explain what that process is like?
So the process is very tedious and very expensive. And that's one of the reasons why immigration is so complicated in this country, because if it were as easy as people make it seem to obtain legal status, people would take that route. But it's complicated and it's expensive. So for example, for my own
and that lets you know that the bulk of the immigrants aren't poor people, because first of all, a mass of poor people are not just immigrating from one place to the next because they can't. And when you get here, the amount of funds and times, because immigration process do take a while. My ex-supervisor, his mother came from Germany, and he's a year older than me, and his mother just received her citizenship like 3 years ago. And she's been over here like 50 years and just received her actual citizenship. And we're talking about a white woman from Germany, right? So it does take time. It is a process, but that's for a reason. It's for a reason. And the process is always going to be more difficult for black folk throughout the diaspora. For all non-white folk, for the Haitians, for the Africans, for the ones that they don't like, it's always going to be more difficult.
Sort of adjustment of status. My parents brought me here when I was younger. I was about 10 years old when I came here, and they came on a visa that eventually did not allow us to naturalize and become citizens, although that was the goal that they wanted. They bought a home, they worked, they were tax-paying citizens. And what eventually happened is that there was no pathway to citizenship. And, you know, as you get older, you grow up, you go to school with your peers and you realize that there are no options post high school or college, because you have to be a lawful citizen to get scholarship or things of that nature. So it severely impacts quality of life. There are only certain major avenues for a person to be able to either naturalize or to gain legal status. And most of those are either through, the major ones are either through marriage, through sponsorship, either by an employer. And those are the major ones. You can't just move and be like, hey, I want to be part of, America. I want to be part of society. I want to contribute. So there are major hurdles. And my legality ended up coming through marriage, because I'd been dating my husband for so long, and we decided to get married and start a family. And even then, it took us about 8 years from the moment that we were married to finally being able to pay all of the fees and all of the fines that would allow me to even get a work permit. So from adjusting status as being undocumented to getting a work permit, that was about $6,000. And then there was a process between the work permit and getting the green card, and then getting the green card and eventually naturalizing as a citizen. And it took me 10 years to finish married to an American citizen to actually, jump over that hurdle financially, and also, go through the process of the paperwork. And I am more savvy than others. I actually did this myself without an attorney. Other people do have to hire attorneys because English is not their first language, or there are certain societal barriers. So it is not an easy process as people make it out to seem. And most people are wanting to contribute to society, and they do want to be legal citizens. People don't enjoy living in the shadows, being undocumented, and is being cast as second-class citizens.
How do conversations like this impact children, growing up in immigrant families with these types of conversations that you're having to have?
Oh, it's absolutely mortifying, especially for my children who are born American citizens. And they had to, when I naturalized, my children were there at the naturalization ceremony, and having to explain why we were taking out passports when the current president became president again. We had to update our passports. We had to sort of update, all of our legal paperwork so that we did not we did not know what we were, what was coming in the foreseeable future. And having to have those discussions of if birthright citizenship is taken away, or if it is, the Supreme Court rules that the president can change the Constitution, what does that look like for their mom who is a naturalized American? What does that look like for them who are American citizens and their mom is their mom is Zimbabwean? So it's a lot of fear and a lot of conversations that cause a lot of anxiety for young children to not be able to know what happens to a parent or an aunt or an uncle, someone in the family nucleus, that they can be snatched at any moment while just going, either to an immigration hearing or going to work. So it causes a lot of trauma, unnecessary trauma to children to have to sit down and talk to young kids about immigration status and whether they're looked at as humans or they're looked at as aliens, and to have conversations with babies and constantly keep them in a state of anxiety about whether they're going to end up in cages or someone that they care about is end up in a cage.
The president has already said that, he essentially said, "Oh, bomber, bomber for that ruling, the ruling that came down, right?" And he wants to try to get Congress involved, calling on Congress. So it doesn't necessarily end this conversation. Supreme Court then said what they needed to say, obviously. What should families be watching now, considering what the president said earlier today?
So the first thing that I want to offer is a source of comfort for the now, is that the president having been ruled that he cannot change the Constitution through executive order. In order for Congress to pass it, they would virtually have to amend the Constitution, which basically with the math that we have now is kind of impossible to do. But what we know is that we have been—
And it's very difficult, might I add.
And it's very difficult. So I want to offer that source of comfort, but that does not mean that we should sort of relax and think that this battle is over, because what we have seen with this president is that there is a tenacity to sort of blow everything apart and not follow the rules of how things are supposed to go. So let's not rest on our rules. We must remain more diligent than ever. People right now don't even know that people are being invited to come to immigration hearings and under the false pretense that their cases are going to be reviewed and getting snatched up from those immigration interviews. This is something that has also impacted me very closely within my own community. So no, we're not safe as we have, a president who continues to use government agencies as sort of like an arm for immigration to snatch people up off the street. Stay diligent with your folks, have conversations, and make sure that you're in tune about what it is that the plans that you have. If you have any family members who are undergoing any sort of like asylum, any sort of status adjustment, any green card, any work permit situations, have a plan for when people get called to go to these immigration interviews. Have a discussion about what that looks like. Who is going to take care of children should you end up in deportation holding? These are very difficult conversations to have, but we need to be prepared and constantly be out speaking out against the policies that seek to erode what we look at as far as the American dream and what our families look like. We take care of our neighbors. I don't want to see my neighbors snatched from up underneath me in the streets. This is not the America that we want to live under. So we must continue to be outspoken, protect.
Yeah, but it's the America that you immigrated to. What Elizabeth just said. You can't solve a problem that you don't acknowledge or recognize. You came to America. America don't like you. America is doing whatever they can to kick out as many of your people as possible. America has been doing that for the longest. Since your people start coming over here in mass, America has been working to keep as many Haitians out of America as possible. This is the America you immigrated to. And listen to me, Mackenzie. I hear what you're saying. Say immigrants come to America for a better opportunity. It wasn't to align with Black Americans, right? Immigrants as a whole. Black immigrants, a lot of Black Americans are starting to understand that. But the problem with a lot of Black immigrants is some Black immigrants do come to align, or the or under the guise to align with Black Americans. Now, there are those who are explicit. I'm not coming to align with Black people. So you are correct in that. But I think a part in that is the Black people who feel slighted because, for one, a lot of Black Americans are now learning that other groups of people who are of the diaspora aren't coming over to align with us. But at the same time, there are others of that diaspora who are coming to align with us. So that's the thing that Black America is trying to wrap their mind around, trying to figure out who's who at the same time, trying to figure out who's who within our own group. So that dark stuff, it will save you. Said there's a process in changing the Constitution, and the president can't change it. It takes Congress and the states to change the Constitution. White people are saviors and are in the image of God. Yep. Now you're right about that. You are right about that. Many Black people see the colonial head powers as possible safe haven or for themselves. They want to be in the UK. Now you're right about that. You're right about that. People want proximity to power, and they want as much proximity to power and resources as possible for themselves. You are right about that.
Your neighbors, reach out to your neighbors, see what they need, and remain diligent. This is not over. There's a tenacity to this president that should mortify all of us when it comes to the quality of life that we should be looking forward, moving forward to the rest of this presidency.
If
But
somebody
you moved
watching
to
this wants
America.
to better understand immigration through facts,
What presidency that existed in America showed favor to Haitians specifically, whether Democrat or Republican? Which group showed favor to Haitians specifically? Tell me, answer me that. To come over here with the idea that the government is going to show you favor when the government has always used your people and your history as toilet tissue is ignorant.
because some folks not turning on the TV, some folks not even tapping in to see some of these conversations and understanding what truly is at play right now. And so my question for you is, where should those individuals begin so that they can understand, maybe if they can support or help or just have a better understanding of overall what's happening?
Yes, so there are a lot of organizations that do a lot of the work, particularly as it pertains to protecting immigrants who are vulnerable right now, or mixed status families. I would start off with organizations that connect folks to these sort of organizations, places like LULAC, your local Democratic Party offices, where they're also in connection with folks. There's a lot of conversations that are being had within a structure within the party and within activists about how to come together and protect folks and what folks need. There are organizations where people are taking donations to essentially help families when someone has been taken in.
Well, we're going to stop this right here because of time, and they're just talking about other stuff now. But all in all, for this one, it's like you have to understand, like, white supremacists have the power. You come to a white country, they have the power. They can do what they want to do with their power. We have to put ourselves in a position of power. There are other groups who have better positions of power. Of course, they don't have the history that we have, and they don't get the attack that we have, but we have to put ourselves in a position of power as a foundational Black Americans. We have to, all other groups of Black people, wherever we are, we need to click. We need to make sure we strengthen ourselves and strengthen the chains of the diaspora. The more we don't do that, the worse it's going to get. The more we, trust me, I get it. I understand how natural tribalism is. I understand. But the more we behave as enemies and the more we behave as opponents, the worse it will get. The worse it would get. So, what did we learn here today? In the Kohen Wiley story, Kohen Wiley's best, the lady who Kohen Wiley was riding to the store with, need her ass whooped for her allegedly stealing those diapers, putting him in that situation, and then the police officer need his ass whooped, need to be fired, need to have his whole career erased from him for using his car as a weapon and actually discharging his weapon and using his weapon and taking the life of a 1-year-old. The second story, Matt Walsh is an idiot. Matt Walsh drinks toilet water, and Matt Walsh believes whatever white people say Matt Walsh believes, and despite the facts that come from the Department of Justice, Matt Walsh is going out of his way to demonize the name and the character of Emmett Till. And in this last story, America is Americaning. America has always, throughout my whole life, America's always gave Haitians their butt to kiss, and America has always tried to make sure that Haitians did not have a place in this country, and they're continuing to do that. And it was like, well, the dude was like, well, the lady adopted 2 Haitian kids, so what? So we got a lot of stuff to work on, like we always talking about. That's why we come here and we have these conversations and we learn and we read and we do all these things and we deep dive, because we got a lot to work on. We will never get to where we need to be physically until we get to where we need to be mentally. Till we reprogram ourselves, our physical existence and our physical future would not be what we want it to be until we change the way we think, and change the way we exist amongst each other, and change the way we treat each other, and change the way we exist, think, and treat, and operate with our enemies. And being able to better recognize who our enemies are and have consequences for our enemies. But that's called power. Like Elizabeth is saying, we got to become us's and we's. It's not about I's and me's, it's about the us's and we's. So with that being said, I appreciate all of you tuning in on the Saturday Live on the show, The Giants. Great conversation. I appreciate you all. Please hit that like button before y'all leave. Like Kush, my man Kush say, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Kush. Shout out to Will Justice, 2 realest moderators in the world. I appreciate you all. I'm about to go spend time with my pops. Like I said, my pops, both of his best friends just passed away within the last 3 weeks. I heard my pops crying the other day. That was the first time I ever heard my pops crying like that. His best friend passed away, and his best friend actually was his brother, because the relationship that they had. So I'm finna go spend some time with my pops and help cheer his day up. So y'all have a good 4th. All of it, make sure y'all spend y'all time with the family. Forget all the other stuff and just take this time to spend time with y'all family and love on each other. And let's learn something from each other and help each other while we're around each other and uplift each other. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You can't handle the truth. I appreciate you. And I love all of you all. And I'm going live again on Monday. For my reading of Blueprint to Black Power. I'm incorporating chapter 11 about how ideas and ideologies help shape a society. I'm incorporating that into the conversation about the Spin That song and India Irie's reaction, Trick Daddy's reaction, and everybody's in that. So we're going to tie all that together on Monday. We're going to have a good time. What time I'm doing it? Not sure. Maybe 12 o'clock. I might do it 12 o'clock on Monday. So I will send my pops some condolences. I appreciate you. And Battle Genja, I might hit you up. We might have to talk tomorrow because I'm not sure how the rest of my day gonna go, but we definitely can talk tomorrow. And I got to call Will Justice too. So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all have a great Saturday. I'll see y'all again on Monday.